Okay, this is Exhibit 1 and case number RSC 2019-000337, Department 6, Judge Haschef. This is Mr. Belfort's case. Okay, this is the order. This is Exhibit 1. I'm going to read a few things on it, and Mr. Belfort's going to give his testimony on this thing. So, Mr. Belfort did prevail in this, okay, and here's the order. And defendant Wilcox Ranch Property Owners Association, and it was represented by Karen Tisling Esquire, and the associated sole witness defendant Bob Nearing. But what I want to say, what I understand about this Karen Tisling, she was the attorney that State Farm provided to make all these representations. Okay, and there was some kind of a thing, but Mr. Belfort, go ahead and interject. But I have some highlighted things here that you had in your filing here, and I just want to read them. Let me read them, and then you can interject or you know, put your comments in here. Okay, the association made a motion to dismiss Nearing from the litigation in his individual capacity. Both Belfort and the association provided the court with their respective arguments as to why Nearing should not be named individually in this case. Okay, Nearing was dismissed from the litigation in his individual capacity. Okay, this, and I mind you, what I know is this was all done before Mr. Belfort. This isn't a motion to reopen due to fraud upon the court. He filed this motion in here, but this is Exhibit 1 showing why, because they made these representations. Okay, let's go down here. There's a few highlighted. Nearing told him the association could do whatever they wanted pursuant to the road easement. The association argued in part through Nearing's testimony the association's governing documents clearly provided the association with authority to maintain the road. Okay, you want to throw something in here about maintaining the road, because I saw the pictures, Mr. Belfort, of what they did to the...
Basically what they did is all the protruding rocks in the road, rather than dispersing them along the road evenly, they shoved them 30 feet into my property, 6 feet high, 100 feet long, and bulldozed 3 trees in the process, leaving the front of my property next to my driveway a shambles, and then told me simply, we own the road, there's nothing you can do about it, and proceeded to parade up and down my property line in a caravan, just defying me even mentioning that they had destroyed my property.
Didn't they come back for a second time? I mean, I saw those pictures. I couldn't believe it. They're calling that road maintenance? Wow.
And then in a second incident, they ran another bulldozer through the corner of my property, removing a bunch of large boulders and creating a situation where they're conducive to erosion.
Yeah, I mean,
and then,
and
then at one point, another property member started grading this little roadway, clearing it off for their passage before a storm.
Up on your way up on your property. Yes. That's the same road that there's talk about eminent domain through the vice president and the attorney about how they could take your property in eminent domain and prescriptive easement, trying to say that they owned your property up there. We have that.
In the records, there's a communication between Robert Nearing, the then president, and Gail Agnes Kern, with a picture of there was a auxiliary road built by the prior owners of my property than when he owned both properties. And I gated it after them destroying my property twice. I gated this property this access to this road, and there's a communication in there saying that's our emergency access road. He needs to remove that stuff immediately, basically laying claim to my property.
Yeah, when they already had a road down there,
Yeah,
and they were conspiring to eminent domain and protective orders against you. I have that stuff, and I was shocked.
basically me coming out there and confronting them when they have heavy equipment next to this part of my property that they destroyed. How dare I come out and say, hey, what are you doing? And I gave them more than ample opportunity on several occasions, and my belief is that they were trying to string me out till the statute of limitations expired. I had words with their equipment operator, and I said, look, just clean this up, just get it all off. And they, 2 months went by, they hadn't touched it, and I said, that's it, you're getting sued.
Okay, let me finish this off. The testimony also confirmed that Naring received board approval to grade the road. Okay, so that means the officers. Naring also testified that he was on the board for 14 years and lived on the property for 22, and the association had previously graded the property twice prior to this incident. He testified the bulldozer was given to him for free, however, they did have to pay for the grading equipment. He also testified the road was pretty bad shape and needed to be cleared, including without limitation, clearing several boulders they discovered after some inclement weather. He also testified the individual who was bulldozing and grading the road was a licensed contractor. I don't think that's true.
No.
He's not a licensed contractor, and him and his wife took all the checks with no accounting. Okay, let me go down here. There's a lot of stuff in there.
Some kickbacks going on in there too.
The court makes the following findings. The association had the authority to grade the road pursuant to the governing documents and easement. The easement is a valid enforceable document granting the association 100-foot roadway easement. Okay, now, what gets me is their attorneys made all these representations. Now they say it doesn't exist after the perpetuity. I mean, what these people have done to us, and Mr. Belfort, okay, and I didn't even know Mr. Belfort when this went on. So, but when I got the records and saw what was going on here, this is fraudulent title representations. We have defective title, and they took money. And these attorneys have made representations on liens, and they took properties with Washoe County. But, okay, plaintiffs are required to that are required to present some evidentiary base for determining the reasonable accurate amount of damages. Okay. You got some damages in here. It wasn't much, but I mean, the thing is, they made these representations here. Okay, they
made representations that they had authority to be on my property. Now they say it doesn't exist.
Okay, yeah. So you've even got the Attorney General in here. They're on the service list, and they've been given the criminal claims. And they blew us off and sent us to the Reno Police Department. Okay, right here. And
which doesn't have jurisdiction over us.
They're playing games. And then this right here, these attorneys made the representations, and they had a conflict of interest with this judge right here. It's funny. Here's what's funny. You look at this. Wendy Pearson, Secretary to Pierre A. Haschef, Justice of the Peace. Where's his signature? Okay, well, his signature's up here. There he is right here. Here he is. Okay? But she mailed it off. That's okay. But anyways, what's your final thought? This is Exhibit 1, motion to reopen due to fraud upon the court. Mr. Belfort. I'm just reading it for him because I have it right here. But it's RSC 2000 19-000337. Any more comments, Mr. Belfort?
Well, as a final thought, when we're trying to address all these, what I'll call irregularities, and we're being threatened, I believe that completes the trifecta for racketeering. And that's my final thought on this.
What gets me is it's the job of the district attorney. We have several verified claims against this, okay? And we provided it with them. They won't even talk to us about financial frauds. Are you kidding me? Okay, so something's wrong here. That's what I'm saying. Okay, that was Exhibit 1. Motion to reopen Exhibits 1 through 33. Jonathan Belfort. Stand by.